My name is Mikhail Munipola, HNIC, and also the darker side of Arkham City Comics. As well as being a retail guy in the comic book store, which is pretty cool. I actually draw comics as well. Currently I'm working on Headlocked, which is an American pro wrestling comic. And another thing, I'm also a pro wrestler, as well as a comic book artist, as well as a comic book store clerk. So yeah, pretty much I've been into comics since I was 5 years old, and just stumbling upon my uncle's collection of comic books, and ever since then I've fallen in love with the world of comic books. And because I was at such a young age, whenever I started drawing, I wanted to draw comic book characters.
Pretty much hanging around, reading too many things, checking out what's in the library. Probably the biggest start that got me into reading and collecting comics was I was about 12. I got sick with the flu for about a week, and my mum bought me a big stack of comics from the bookstore and all that, and there was a X Factor 35 was in there. Read it, went, okay, I must know what's happening, and then that continued on, and then unfortunately now I run a comic shop and try and read everything and anything.
I guess being a bit older, when I was growing up, there was a lot less to distract us. We didn't have video games, didn't have cell phones, and all that. So you were either running around with a rugby ball or going to the library. And I've always enjoyed stories. Comics are the best way to get a lot of stories at once.
Both myself and Mikhail, who work at Arkham, when we started in this industry as retailers, we were the ones who were comic fanboys and customers who were just into our comics, but we'd go into the stores that we were comfortable with, and we'd just hang out and start chatting to the people running those stores. Myself in particular, I started going to Gotham Comics when it started up, and I was talking to Tony Gibson, who was in there, who was a very passionate man about comics, and he would talk on anything and everything. He just seemed to have this huge amount of knowledge, to the point where I was going up there, going to that store during my work lunchtime, being in this shop the entire hour, talking to anyone and everyone who was in there. Got to the point where I was hanging out so much, he asked if I'd look after the store for a little bit while he went to the bank. My little fanboy brain just went, it went, hell yes, I'll do it. I was like, I'm behind the counter, I've got the power.
I owned a pizza business, and I got robbed in it one night. The guy told me he was going to spread my brains over the wall, and I thought, you know what, if I'm going to get shot, I'd rather be shot in a comic shop than a pizza shop. So I decided I'd go and open up a comic shop. That was my catalyst. It's something I always wanted to do, but it was something I never thought I would do. And that's what got my ass into gear and set me up.
Pretty much Green Lantern, anything Green Lantern I've been reading since I was a kid. So I always read Green Lantern. Currently, Thor God of Thunder, that's pretty awesome. And they talk about beards a lot and drinking, so that's cool. And then the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman, that's it. Whenever someone comes and goes, I want something new to read, what's cool? I'll be like, Batman.
Comic culture is far more accessible for so many more people now, and it's no longer the realm of the unknown geek. Avengers turned over $1 billion. Batman, they're both $1 billion movies, so there's a lot of people going to see those films. TV shows like Big Bang Theory, it's no longer it's a lot easier for people to understand why people enjoy it. So I think a lot more people are comfortable picking up comics and having a read.
Digital comics, when they first came out, a lot of people were thinking that would be the end of printed comics and comic stores as we have. The thing is, we found in New Zealand, it's actually assisted and actually helped our business a lot more, because people read them first online, either free or they'll get them cheap and they'll read them, they like them, then they'd actually come in and get people or themselves to buy the hard copy. So I mean, it's actually helping us in sales, because we're getting a lot more people hunting out comic stores to come and buy things.
We did the internet and online buying 10, 11 years ago, and it turned out to be quite a headache because of the amount of stock that we have, as you can see. So it became a very laborious chore. We were constantly maintaining a website, yet it was only accounting for 1 or 2% of the turnover. The other side to the internet is it's just a treasure trove of information and a great way to get feedback from your customers and instant information from suppliers. I mean, when I started this 18 years ago, getting information about what was coming up was not so much, it wasn't a headache, but it was very one way.
Because we've been in this industry now for, well, myself well over a decade, Mikhail's coming up to at least 8 years, and we've just been ourselves all the way through. For us, we kind of remember at the end of the day that making money is actually what we're here to do as well, but that usually comes after reading the comics, talking with the customers, having fun with it all, and then going, oh yeah, we've got to make money so we can pay bills. But at the moment, that hasn't been a problem at all, and for a set-up company, people keep telling us we seem to be doing everything right.
A natural progression is, reading comic books and drawing them for me, and I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to create comic books and be paid for it. So that's kind of cool, when you get paid to do something you love, like running a comic book store. It's it never feels like a job.
I mean, I'm in this. Profit is almost a happy accident. I enjoy comics, and it's great that we've been able to grow to this point. And it's taken 18 years to get here, but we got here in the end. It's good.